The November rain felt like ice against my face as I pressed myself against the cold brick wall of Riverside Funeral Home through the stained glass window. I could see the warm glow of candles and the backs of black-clad mourners filling the pews. My grandmother's casket sat at the front, surrounded by white roses, her favorites. She couldn't make it. I heard my father's voice drift through the cracked window. Sophie is somewhere in Europe, backpacking or whatever she calls it these days. You know how she is always running from responsibility. My fingernails dug into my palms. I'd driven 14 hours straight from Chicago when I heard about Grandma Rose's passing, only to find the funeral director politely but firmly informed me that I wasn't on the list. My own grandmother's funeral, and I wasn't on the list. But what made my blood turn to ice wasn't being barred from entry. It was what I saw next. A woman sat in the front row in my spot, wearing a black dress identical to the one I'd worn to every family funeral since I was 16. Her hair was dyed the same shade of auburn as mine, pulled back in the same low bun I always wore. When she turned her head slightly to dab at her eyes with a handkerchief, I saw she even had my distinctive birthmark drawn on her neck. She was crying perfectly. Not too much, not too little. The grieving granddaughter performed to perfection. Poor Sophia. My Aunt Linda was saying to someone, she and Rose were so close. She must be devastated wherever she is. The actress nodded, shoulders shaking with practiced sobs. I pulled out my phone, fingers numb from the cold, and started recording through the window. Whatever sick game my family was playing, I was going to document every second of it. The service continued with readings and hymns. My Uncle Peter gave a eulogy that painted our family as one big happy unit, conveniently leaving out how they'd systematically pushed me out over the past 5 years. My cousin Melissa sang Amazing Grace, off-key, as always. And through it all, the fake Sophia sat there playing her role. When the service ended and people began filing out for the burial, I slipped around to the back entrance. I knew this building, Grandma Rose, had been on the funeral home's board for 20 years. I'd spent countless afternoons here with her, discussing life and death over tea in the director's office. The side door was unlocked. Bless Mrs. Chin, the cleaning lady who always worked Saturdays. I slipped inside and up the back stairs to the second-floor viewing room that overlooked the main chapel. From here, I could see and hear everything while remaining hidden. The burial was private, family only. I watched them load the casket into the hearse, watched the actress climb into the family limousine with my parents, watched them drive away to bury my grandmother without me, but I knew what came next. The will reading was scheduled for 4:00 p.m. back at the funeral home's conference room. Grandma Rose had been meticulous about her final wishes, and she'd insisted the reading happened immediately after the burial. No time for the vultures to scheme, she always said with a wink. I waited in my hiding spot, surviving on vending machine coffee and the rage burning in my chest. At 3:45, they all filed back in, shaking rain from their umbrellas. The actress was still there, still playing me now, with my mother's arm wrapped around her shoulders. This is so hard, the fake Sophia said, in a voice nothing like mine. I just can't believe she's gone. We're all here for you, sweetheart, my mother cooed. Grandma Rose would want you to be strong. I bit my tongue hard enough to taste blood. Attorney Maxwell Crawford entered precisely at 4:00 p.m., his silver briefcase in one hand and a sealed box in the other. He was Gran Rose's lawyer for 40 years, and the sight of his familiar face made my eyes burn with uned tears. Please, everyone, have a seat, he said, his deep voice filling the room. I know this is a difficult day, but Rose was very specific about her wishes. They all settled around the conference table. My parents, aunts, uncles, cousins, and the actress still pretending to be me. From my vantage point above, I could see everything perfectly. Mr. Crawford set down his briefcase and a mysterious box, then pulled out a thick manila envelope. Before we begin, I must inform you that Rose left very specific instructions for this reading. He pulled out a tablet and set it on the table. She requested that we begin with a video message she recorded 6 months ago. My father shifted uncomfortably. Is that really necessary? Maxwell, we're all very emotional. I'm afraid it's not optional. Thomas, Mr. Crawford said firmly. Rose's instructions were quite clear. Any deviation from her wishes will result in the immediate dissolution of all inheritances, with assets transferring to her designated charities that shut him up. Mr. Crawford tapped the tablet, and suddenly my grandmother's face filled the screen. My heart clenched. She looked thinner than I remembered. But her eyes still held that sharp intelligence that had always seen right through everyone's nonsense. "Hello, my darlings." Grandma Rose's voice filled the room. "If you're watching this, then I'm gone, and you're all gathered for the reading of my will. But before we get to who gets what, we need to address something important." She paused, and even on video, her gaze seemed to sweep the room. "I need to verify that my granddaughter Sophia Marie Bennett is actually present." The actress straightened up, preparing for her big moment. My mother patted her hand encouragingly. "You see," Grandma Rose continued, "I've become aware of certain behaviors in this family. Attempts to isolate Sophia, to turn her into the black sheep, to push her out of her rightful place. I've watched it happen, and I stayed silent, gathering evidence and waiting." The room had gone very still. "So before we proceed, I need to make absolutely certain that the real Sophia is here. Maxwell, please open the box." Mr. Crawford lifted the sealed box and carefully opened it. Inside were several items: a stack of photographs, what looked like DNA test kits, and another sealed envelope. "First," Grandma Rose's voice continued, "I'd like Sophia to tell everyone about the song I used to sing to her when she was little, the one I made up just for her when she had nightmares." The actress's face went pale. She glanced at my parents, who were both leaning forward, clearly having prepped her for many things, but not this. I don't," the actress stammered. "It's okay, sweetheart," my father said quickly. "You're emotional, it was so long ago." Now, Grandma Rose's voice cut through. "My Sophia would never forget the butterfly's lullaby. She made me sing it every night until she was 12. She even sang it to me when I was in the hospital last year." The actress was sweating now, her perfect makeup starting to run. "Second," Grandma Rose continued relentlessly, "please have Sophia show everyone the scar on her left palm, the one she got when she was 8, trying to save that injured cardinal. In my garden. We never told her parents because she was supposed to be at piano practice." The actress clutched her hands together, and I could see from my perch that her palms were unmarked. And finally, Grandma Rose's eyes seemed to bore into the camera. "I'd like Sophia to tell everyone what I whispered to her the last time we saw each other. My last words to my real granddaughter." The room was tomb silent. The actress looked ready to bolt. My parents were exchanging panicked glances. "I'm waiting," Grandma Rose said after a long pause. "Or perhaps the real Sophia isn't there at all. Perhaps someone thought they could fool me, even in death." My Uncle Peter cleared his throat. "Mom, this is Maxwell." Ran Rose interrupted. "If the woman claiming to be Sophia cannot answer these simple questions, please proceed with protocol." Mr. Crawford nodded and pulled out his phone. "I'll need to make a call. Wait." I stepped out of my hiding place and into the doorway of the conference room. "I'm here, Grandma, I'm here." Every head in the room whipped toward me. The actress gasped. My mother went white as a sheet. "The butterfly's lullaby." I set my voice steady despite the tears rolling down my cheeks. "You sang it in French because you said butterflies spoke all languages. Petit Pilin, DS Lejardin Shaw, La Fleurs J. Quayton." I held up my left palm, showing the curved scar that had never quite faded. "The cardinal lived, by the way. We released it together 2 weeks later." I stepped fully into the room, ignoring the shocked faces, looking only at the tablet screen where my grandmother's frozen image waited. "And the last thing you said to me when everyone thought you were sleeping was the truth always finds its wings. My little butterfly, be ready to fly when it does." Mr. Crawford smiled. A real smile, the first I'd seen from him all day. "Miss Bennett, we've been expecting you. What the hell is going on?" My father exploded, jumping to his feet. "Sophia, what are you doing here? You were supposed to be in Europe." I finished conveniently out of reach, unable to make it back in time. I looked at the actress who was shrinking in her chair. Who would she? Dad? How much did you pay her to be me? "This is ridiculous," my mother said. Her voice was shaking. You wanted Grandma Rose's money," I said flatly. "And you knew she'd never leave it to you, as she knew how you treated me. So you hired a replacement, a grieving granddaughter, who would play the part, and then sign over her inheritance to you." Mr. Crawford cleared his throat. "Perhaps we should continue with the video." The screen unfroze, and Grand Rose smiled, a sharp knowing smile. "Ah, there's my real granddaughter. Hello, my little butterfly. I'm so sorry for what you've had to endure, but don't worry, we're about to make it right." She leaned forward slightly. "You see, family, I've known about